Now it's time for your community focus, and here to talk with me about the legalization of marijuana in the state of Rhode Island is Senator Joshua Miller. Thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I want to kick things off with just why you decided to push for legislation like this.
Well, it's actually been quite a while. In 2010 was the first time we had a commission to study the decriminalization of marijuana, which led to, in 2012, decriminalization of under an ounce or less. And soon after that, other states, starting with Colorado, started the process of having a recreational marketplace. And so since Colorado and other states have adopted it, now it's up to 19 states, I've been pushing for this in Rhode Island.
And now that it has been passed, the governor did sign it into law. If you could just run the top things that this bill includes for the people at home that don't know. So
what it includes is the existing compassion centers that sell medical marijuana will be able to sell recreational also starting December 1st, including 6 additional medical facilities that have won the lottery up to this date. And so there'll be 9 places by December 1st of this year, and then after that there'll be 24 more licenses once Cannabis Commission gets up and running to issue those licenses in the next 18 months to 2 years.
And having these facilities, what do you think that will be doing for our economy?
So right now there is a very active market in Massachusetts. So the market for legal purchasing of marijuana is almost completely being done in nearby states, including Massachusetts. So very quickly, we hope to recoup what people are spending in other states, and therefore we will have revenue to address some of the problems that has existed in the last several decades that have occurred and we know occur based on a black market. We'll now have revenue to deal with some of those issues in a legal market.
And one of those big issues that we've been seeing, talking about, like you said, for decades is the charges that people face, both civilly and criminally, when it comes to possession. And this legislation would help expunge that. Yes. Talk to me about it.
So a large part of that is in any state. In Rhode Island, it's about 20 to 30,000 people who have, under the legislation, we further decriminalize it. And so therefore anybody who historically has a record is available for expungement. It'll be automatic over the course of about 2 years, but anybody willing and interested can petition as of when the legislation was passed to have their record cleared. So it'll be automatic through a process that has a 2-year deadline, or somebody can go in immediately into the Attorney General's office and get it expunged.
And you talked about how 19 states have this right now. There is conversations on the federal level to talk about the legalization across the board. Can you comment on it?
Yeah, so you know, things are moving very slowly on the federal level, not only around this issue, but on any issue. So there is, I think it's passed the House and not the Senate with a lot of legislation right now on the federal level. Mm-hmm. And so there is a push, and it's bipartisan. As an example, one of the past speakers, past Speaker Boner, is a big proponent of it as an example. And so there is a potential that within the next several months or a year, you could see at least decriminalization, if not guidance for a marketplace within that period.
And the last thing I want to touch on with you is just, I know you mentioned Senator Warren was having conversations about potentially smoking in public, which I think is a hot topic for people at home. Can you talk to me more about what that is?
So the town of Warren, I know Providence, I know several other municipalities are all should be looking at how widespread they want the public consumption of marijuana. Every city and town and most state parks, I think all state parks, prohibit consumption of tobacco, but it's specific to tobacco. So if they want to make sure legally it also includes the consumption of marijuana, they have to go out city by city, town by town to make sure their legislation is clear that it includes marijuana
All right,
for public consumption.
Okay, making it clear. Town of Warren, not Senator Warren. I know I misspoke there. Okay, so a lot of things could be changing with this, and a lot of things have happened, and part of this is because of you pushing for this legislation. Senator, thank you so much for being here with us.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.